Ever since she was a young girl, she had dreams of making it big in the cooking scene. Rachael Ray, the queen of the kitchen in the hearts of many and on national TV, might appear to be the happy-go-lucky chef with a host of cookbooks in her name, a hit cook show, and numerous awards, but she isn't particularly happy or lucky, so to say. Behind the bright smile, her life has been darkened by countless tragedies and setbacks that would crush most people's spirits. But can any person truly remain unbroken after such repeated trauma? What allows Rachael's spirit to rise triumphantly from the rubble? Join us as we delve into Rachael Ray finally confirms what we thought all along. Rachael Ray's humble beginnings and rise to fame. Rachael Ray is a famous name, a cooking superstar whose exciting energy and easy cooking style have made her loved by millions across America. But behind her extremely successful career lies a story of humble beginnings, never giving up determination, and a tireless pursuit of her dreams. Born on August 25, 1968, in the small town of Glens Falls, New York, Rachael's early years were marked by a modest upbringing and a growing passion for cooking. From a young age, she found happiness and joy in the kitchen, improving her skills and developing a love for creating delicious dishes that would eventually lead her to stardom. As a child, Rachael faced many health challenges, including frequently struggling with croup, a breathing illness that often left her coughing uncontrollably. Her weakened vocal cords from these repeated bouts shaped the distinctive raspy voice that would become her trademark later on. Not deterred by obstacles, Rachael pushed forward, her drive fueled by an unquenchable thirst for culinary knowledge. After graduating high school in 1986, she briefly attended Pace University for communications, but her true calling kept calling, and she soon left to start a journey that would redefine her life's path. The late 1980s and early 90s saw Rachael taking all sorts of jobs, from working at Macy's to managing a pub in New York City. During this time, she met her future husband, John Cusimano, a lawyer and musician, forming an enduring partnership that will withstand time and hardship. Rachael's big break came in 2001 with a guest spot on the Today Show, captivating audiences with her engaging personality and effortless cooking approach. Her segment, 30-Minute Meals, struck a chord, showcasing her ability to whip up delicious dishes in under half an hour, a skill that became her trademark. Her Today Show success paved the way for Rachael's meteoric rise as she published her first cookbook, 30-Minute Meals, that same year. The book was an instant hit, solidifying her place as a culinary force to be reckoned with and opening doors to opportunities. In the following years, Rachael's star continued rising as she hosted cooking shows, made countless TV appearances, and expanded her brand with the 2006 daytime talk show, The Rachael Ray Show. Her infectious energy and relatability resonated, cementing her as a household name beloved in the culinary world. Not just her star rising, but also the number of adversities that will hit her in the future. How will she fare? Let's find out. Vocal cord cyst and surgery. Rachael Ray's distinctive raspy voice has become iconic in the world of TV stardom, where personality and stage presence are key. Yet, only a few know the difficulties behind the voice that has captivated millions. From an early age, Rachael's vocal cords were a source of both challenge and strength. As a child, she frequently battled illnesses like croup, a breathing condition causing difficulties and constant coughing. These episodes left her physically drained but also strained her delicate vocal cords, foreshadowing battles ahead. In 2008, rumors swirled about Rachael's health, with reports suggesting throat cancer and surgery to remove a tumor that would keep her off public eye for months. However, Rachael's team quickly dismissed these, confirming surgery was needed, but not for cancer. Instead, Rachael faced removing a benign cyst on her vocal cords, a condition that, if untreated, could devastate her career and ability to communicate. In December 2008, with characteristic determination, Rachael underwent the outpatient procedure, taking only a week off her busy schedule. The surgery succeeded, but was merely one chapter in Rachael's ongoing battle with vocal health. Throughout her career, she navigated challenges posed by her delicate vocal cords, doing throat exercises and avoiding irritants like caffeine to preserve her most valuable asset. Family tragedies and infidelity rumors. Beneath the glitz and glam of Rachael Ray's life and rise to fame lies a ton of heartbreak, tragedy, and the bitter realities of life, especially in the public eye. This journey has seen her tread the treacherous streets of New York City, grapple with the loss of loved ones, and confront whispers of infidelity that threaten to unravel the very fabric of her personal life. In the late 1990s, when Rachael was still an up-and-coming talent, working in Manhattan and residing in Queens, she found herself thrust into the harsh realities of city living. Twice in a single week, she fell victim to the scourge of muggings, a brutal reminder of the dangers that lurked in the shadows of the concrete jungle. The first encounter was a harrowing ordeal, as a brazen assailant accosted her in the very lobby of her apartment building. Faced with the threat of violence, Rachael was forced to deploy her mace, a desperate act of self-preservation that would forever etch itself into her memory. But the ordeal was far from over. Just days later, the same relentless mugger struck again, this time with a level of aggression that left Rachael reeling. Dragged into an alleyway, she was beaten mercilessly with the assailant's gun, a chilling reminder of how fragile life can be and the ever-present scent of violence that haunts the streets of the city that never sleeps. Shaken to her core, Rachael made the difficult decision to flee the city, retreating to the serene environs of the Adirondacks region, where she sought solace in the stillness of nature and the familiarity of managing restaurants at the Sagamore Resort on Lake George. Yet, even as she sought to rebuild her life and forge a path to success, fate had more trials in store for Rachael Ray, the indomitable. In 2013, tragedy struck her again and her family, as her beloved aunt, Geraldine Dominica Scuderi, passed away under heart-wrenching circumstances outside Rachael's own home. The 77-year-old Geraldine, entrusted with the care of Rachael's home, found herself locked out on a bitter November day. In a desperate attempt to regain entry, she tried to break a window, but succumbed to the harsh elements, her lifeless body discovered the following day. In the wake of this devastating loss, Rachael found herself embroiled in a family feud, as her cousin leveled accusations of negligence against her, claiming that her failure to provide assistance in a timely manner contributed to their shared tragedy. Geraldine with a key contributed to the tragic outcome. The situation was further fueled by Rachael's absence from the funeral, as her professional obligations kept her from paying her final respects, further fueling the rift within her once close-knit clan. As if the weight of these tragedies wasn't enough, Rachael's personal life was soon engulfed in a truckload of rumors and speculation, as whispers of infidelity threatened to tear her marriage asunder. Allegations swirled that her husband, John Cusimano, had engaged in multiple affairs, with some reports suggesting as many as 6 women over the years. One very shocking rumor described a bad situation where John was accused of being involved with a woman from Florida. It was claimed that he met this woman in New York in 2000 and had a secret relationship with her for years. The rumor said John gave this mistress gifts and was involved with drugs and wild behavior. Through all of this, Rachael firmly defended her husband, rejecting the accusations as completely false and stating her total faith in their marriage. However, the whispers about this continued, casting doubt over their seemingly perfect marriage and threatening to damage the loving family image that had made them so popular with millions of fans. Controversies and backlash. Rachael Ray has written many cookbooks and has her own shows on TV. Millions of people know her name and face. With such huge success, you might think everyone loves Rachael. But that is not the case. Over the years, Rachael has faced a lot of controversies and backlash from different people. One major issue was about Rachael's dog food company called Nutrish. Rachael loves dogs very much and even talks about her dog Isabu on her shows. So it made sense for her to start a dog food brand to give pups healthy food. Plus, some money from Nutrish sales goes to Rachael's charity that helps animals in need. However, in 2018, someone claimed that Nutrish dog food actually contained a weed killer chemical, despite being marketed as natural. At first, the complaint did not provide enough details, so it got dismissed in court. But then the person tried again with more information, and this time the case moved forward. 2 years later, in 2020, another lawsuit popped up about Nutrish. This one alleged that tests found dog DNA in the food, which is very strange for a dog food product. The suit also claimed the food had way more ingredients than the advertised 6 ingredients on the label. So questions arose about whether Nutrish was really as healthy and natural as claimed. While that 2020 case eventually got thrown out too, it still created negative buzz around Rachael's dog food brand. For someone who promotes a healthy lifestyle, having her pet product face such accusations was quite embarrassing. But the controversies did not stop there. Rachael's friendships and connections in the food world also came under scrutiny at times. A major incident involved her friend, celebrity chef Mario Batali. In 2017, Mario got heavily accused of sexual misconduct by multiple women who claimed he harassed them in various ways. By 2022, Mario had settled 2 cases related to the allegations, though he was found not guilty in another case. A documentary was even made discussing the rise and fall of the once wildly popular chef. During this chaos, Rachael stood by her friend Mario, which upset many people. In one 2019 interview, Rachael admitted she still talked to Mario but did not ask him about the disturbing accusations against him. She felt the immense attention on Mario was unfair and that he was being treated unjustly. Rachael also noted that inappropriate conversations sometimes happen in professional kitchen environments, implying Mario's alleged behavior was not that uncommon. She felt she herself was always treated properly in the food industry. Rachael's defense of Mario angered many who saw his situation very differently. Her apparent dismissal of the serious harassment claims rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Outside of the Mario Batali controversy, Rachael has also faced direct criticism and backlash from others in the cooking world over the years. Some top chefs have publicly made negative comments about Rachael's personality or mocked her cooking methods. The biggest critic was likely Martha Stewart, who once claimed Rachael told her she could not bake well. Martha also expressed dislike for one of Rachael's cookbooks during an interview. Other famous chef names like Giada De Laurentiis, Emeril Lagasse, and the late Anthony Bourdain also voiced complaints about Rachael at times. The main gripe seems to be over Rachael's signature fast, simple cooking style versus their preferred authentic, from-scratch methods. Ironically, Rachael's appealing 30-minute meal approach is what first made her a household name and major culinary celebrity. But many elite chefs basically accused her of cutting too many corners and not properly respecting the art of cooking. At one point, the hatred towards Rachael from some peers grew so strong that a website called I Hate Rachael Ray launched, letting people vent about their disdain for her. The site later changed its name to the blunter, Rachael Ray Sucks. However, not all of Rachael's chef world relationships have been rocky. One-time critic Emeril Lagasse, for example, has made peace with Rachael and now frequently appears on her show in a friendly way. Still, the repeated controversies and intense backlash from various corners raised questions about the authenticity of Rachael's work and persona over the years. One particularly stinging claim was that Rachael did not actually create all the recipes displayed in her name. A 2012 article in the New York Times alleged that some famous chefs like Rachael used ghostwriters to pen at least portions of their cookbooks. When asked about this, Rachael admitted to getting organizational help on her cookbook projects from assistants. But she insisted she did indeed write the recipes herself during family time at home. The ghostwriting claim created doubts about whether Rachael's authentic cooking advice was truly her own or not. It struck at the heart of her relatable, everyday persona. Relatability was so key to Rachael's brand, in fact, that even how she treated guests at her TV show tapings became a topic of discussion. Some attendees raved about the fun experience, but others felt Rachael seemed grumpy and gave poor customer service between shots. One review described feeling bad for Rachael's staff, wondering why she kept hosting the show if she did not enjoy it. Such frank criticism of her attitude represented yet another challenge to her likable, peppy image. Through all the controversies and backlash over the years, Rachael displayed impressive perseverance in continuing her work and massive multimedia brand. She deflected doubters, ignored hatred, and pushed forward with new projects. Still, the recurring negativity undoubtedly tarnished her image to some degree in the public eye. The once seemingly innocuous cooking star faced allegations of inauthenticity, insensitivity, and mistreatment that shattered the perfectly sunshine persona cultivated early in her career. No celebrity exists without some level of criticism or controversy, of course. But Rachael's case stood out due to the venom from some peers, the legal issues with her product line, and the questions raised about her true culinary capabilities. The battles likewise showed how forcefully the tides of public opinion can shift in the modern era, especially when it comes to public figures. For every fan still adoring Rachael, it seemed there was someone else ready to take her down a notch or three: the devastating house fire. Rachael Ray is someone who faced many tough situations in life. One of the saddest things that happened to her was when her home burned down in a terrible fire. This happened in 2020, and it left Rachael absolutely heartbroken. The house that burned down was very special to Rachael. It was located in a beautiful area called the Adirondacks. Rachael and her husband John had built this home themselves more than 10 years earlier, in the late 2000s. They put a lot of love and effort into making it perfect for their family. On that fateful night in 2020, Rachael and John were inside their Adirondack home when disaster struck. A fire had started from the chimney. At first, they may have thought it was a small, containable fire. But very quickly, the flames began spreading out of control throughout the entire house. With the fire raging so intensely, Rachael and John realized they had to get out of the home immediately before it was too late. They literally had to flee for their lives, escaping out of the house as fast as they could. It must have been an absolutely terrifying experience. In the end, their beloved home, which they had constructed with such care over a decade ago, was completely destroyed by the intense flames and heat. After firefighters finally extinguished the blaze, there was nothing left of the house, just ruins and rubble where their treasured family home once stood. For Rachael, this loss was absolutely devastating on an emotional level. The house contained so many meaningful personal belongings and cherished memories from over the years. Precious keepsakes, photos, furniture, and other irreplaceable items were all turned to ash in the blink of an eye. Rachael was understandably distraught after this nightmare scenario. Her special home that represented the good times with her family was just gone in a shocking moment of destruction. The intense grief of such a loss is hard for anyone to imagine unless you experience it firsthand. However, Rachael is someone with incredible strength and perseverance. Instead of being paralyzed by the tragedy, she picked herself up and got determined to rebuild and reclaim what the fire had taken from her life. Rachael made the very bold decision to construct a brand new house on that same property in the Adirondacks. She wanted to replace the home lost in the blaze, but have it be just as meaningful and special as before. It would be a new start, but keep the heart of the old home alive. The task of rebuilding was not easy at all. Rachael obsessed over replicating so many small details from the original house that held sentimental value for her family. From the layout of rooms to the style of furniture down to the pictures on the wall, she wanted to recreate an atmosphere that felt comfortingly familiar. At the same time, Rachael also incorporated smart improvements to reduce fire risk in the new home's construction. Specifics like a tin roof were added as safety precautions learned from the painful experience of losing the previous house to flames. As Rachael conducted this labor of love, she documented the entire rebuilding process to share with the public on her new Hulu series, Rachael Ray's Rebuild. It allowed viewers to witness her resilience in the face of adversity up close. The show was not just about replacing a physical structure, but also highlighted Rachael's emotional journey to heal from the anguish of such a major life loss. Rebuilding the house represented rebuilding her sense of home and regaining control over something so essential that the fire had stripped away. For Rachael, the new house stood as a powerful symbol of perseverance over setbacks and refusal to let tragedies define her life's story. She drew strength from coming through such a nightmare scenario and having the determination to put the shattered pieces back together, brick by brick. Even as she focused hard on this massive home reconstruction project, Rachael boldly took on another big life change at the same time, purchasing a second home in Italy. Yes, in the midst of such tumultuous upheaval, the ambitious chef also decided to invest in an old villa in Tuscany. Just like the New York house, Rachael's Italian villa required extensive renovation and customization work to meet her family's needs. She eagerly jumped into the challenge, designing and decorating every detail of the ancient villa. Amazingly, cameras captured this whole process too for a Hulu show titled Rachael Ray's Italian Dream Home. For anyone else, taking on not just one but two huge home projects simultaneously might seem absolutely insane, especially after going through something as traumatic as having your entire house burned to the ground. But not for the relentless Rachael Ray. Undaunted, she poured her energies into shaping both these homes on opposite sides of the Atlantic into special havens for her loved ones to create joyful new memories together. It was a definitely inspiring way to rise from the ashes of that devastating fire. Through these twin journeys captured on television, Rachael sent a powerful message to never let unfortunate circumstances define you or derail your dreams in life. Even when disaster strikes in its cruelest form, she proved it's still possible to summon courage, face the rubble head-on, and rebuild something even better from the ruins. For anyone who may feel hopelessly broken by personal tragedies or setbacks, Rachael became a model for finding the inner fire to keep going, to refuse giving up, and to fiercely reclaim the vision of happiness you want for yourself and your family, no matter how extremely challenging that quest may seem. Hurricane Ida's destruction. Just when you thought Rachael Ray couldn't possibly face any more hardships in life, another terrible tragedy struck her in 2021. As if losing her entire home to a devastating fire wasn't traumatic enough, Mother Nature had one more cruel blow to deliver. In late summer of 2021, a powerful hurricane named Ida slammed into the New York City area with breathtaking force. While not officially classified as a hurricane when it hit the city, the storm still packed extremely heavy rains and winds unlike anything seen in decades. Ida's wrath broke rainfall records across NYC, flooding streets and buildings in ways normally only seen in coastal areas during major hurricanes. Tragically, the historic storm also caused multiple deaths and millions upon millions of dollars in property damage. According to official reports, over 3% of all buildings across New York's 5 boroughs were impacted in some way by Hurricane Ida's destruction. And unfortunately for Rachael Ray, her own recently renovated apartment did not escape the wrath of this freak weather event. In a heartbreaking interview, Rachael described to People magazine the utter devastation that Ida inflicted upon her city living space. From the ceiling speakers being ruined to the fireplace area looking completely melted, the apartment was simply trashed beyond belief. But as if the flooding, wind damage, and ruination of her home's interior wasn't bad enough, Rachael had to then suffer a second bout of chaos in the wake of Ida. When a team of workers arrived to assess the destruction, they accidentally broke a water pipe, causing her entire apartment building to flood all over again. Can you imagine the sickening feeling of finally removing all the water from your home after a major storm, only to have it immediately inundated by flooding again due to a crazy mishap? For poor Rachael, it must have seemed like a never-ending nightmare. With her apartment essentially uninhabitable after the dual flooding incidents, Rachael was forced to temporarily relocate while awaiting repairs and renovations. It left her new living situation completely up in the air at one of the worst possible times, the holiday season. Although she endured so much grief and upheaval that year, Rachael still tried her best to keep her spirits high heading into Christmas 2021. Through sheer force of will and optimism, she managed to get back into her hurricane-ravaged apartment just in time to put up cheerful decorations. Rachael bravely highlighted these festive touches on an episode of her TV show, offering hope and light in the face of such darkness. But while putting on a brave face, you could still sense the emotional toll all these tragedies had taken. Between the house fire, hurricane flooding, accidental reflooding, and temporary displacement from home, Rachael truly experienced an unrelenting gauntlet of emotional and physical turmoil over a span of 2 traumatic years. Any single one of those crises would likely push most people to their breaking point. But to endure that entire hellish sequence of events, one after another in rapid succession, is almost too much to fathom in terms of psychological endurance. And yet, time and again, Rachael demonstrated her unbreakable spirit and will to persevere against all odds. No matter what cruel blows life dealt her way, she refused to stay down for the count or surrender to despair. In many ways, Rachael became a real-life emblem of resilience and hope for others battling their own hurricanes, fires, or any tragic circumstances threatening to drown their dreams and demoralize their souls. While her public persona is so often exuberantly sunny, Rachael showed incredible human strength in times of adversity that left her future frightfully uncertain. She proved you can indeed smile and keep going, even when everything around you has fallen into rubble and ruin. After the hurricane struck, Rachael could have easily lapsed into depression and defeated surrender. No one would have blamed her given the immense traumas she faced in such a short span. But that was never an option for this tenacious woman of unrelenting spirit. Instead of allowing herself to be consumed by sorrow or self-pity, Rachael actively showcased the power of dogged perseverance and faith in brighter days ahead. She represented the resilience we all hope we can find within ourselves when life kicks us while we're already down. And perhaps most admirably, Rachael refused to shut off her heart or harden herself against further vulnerability, despite surely feeling tempted to do so. By decorating for Christmas and defiantly striving to make the Ida-ravaged space a home again, she showed that turmoil need not extinguish kindness or hope. Rachael's resilience and hope. After going through a series of heartbreaking tragedies, you would think Rachael Ray might start feeling sorry for herself or give up hope. But that's just not her style at all. Through every dark cloud that has come her way, Rachael has found the inner strength to stay positive and keep moving forward. Despite losing her entire home to a terrible fire, seeing her apartment get destroyed by Hurricane Ida's flooding, and enduring many other personal difficulties, Rachael refuses to let any of it break her spirit. Her ability to bounce back from adversity with optimism and resilience is truly inspiring. When you watch Rachael during these tough times, it's clear she doesn't wallow in sadness or self-pity for long. Sure, the initial blows of each tragedy surely crushed her emotionally. Losing your whole house and all your treasured belongings? Having your home flooded twice in 1 year? Those gut punches would make anyone feel despair. But instead of resigning herself to that pain, Rachael actively works to find the light shining through even the darkest of storms in her life. For example, after both the house fire and hurricane, Rachael immediately took on the difficult tasks of rebuilding and repairing her damaged homes. She could have easily decided to just walk away and start fresh somewhere new. Most people might feel that way after repeatedly being beaten down and displaced by disasters, but not Rachael. She was determined to regain control and recreate the special havens that meant so much to her family. So with her trademark roll-up-your-sleeves determination, Rachael got busy designing her new houses and decorating them to match the cozy, loving feel of the original homes lost to fire and flood. Even while no doubt still grieving those profound losses, she actively pushed forward to restore that sense of hearth and home. Rachael didn't just want new houses, she wanted to recapture the actual soul and essence that had lived within those previous dwellings. It was an ambitious undertaking both physically and emotionally. While most of us would be so broken after compounding tragedies like that, Rachael amazingly pressed onward with eventual success. Her resilient spirit also shined brightly during the holiday season at the end of 2021. Despite her NYC apartment being devastated just months prior by Hurricane Ida's floods, Rachael defiantly put up decorations and holiday cheer anyway. She proudly displayed the festive scene on her TV show, glowing with seasonal warmth and happiness. Just seeing Rachael joyfully decking the halls so soon after her home's destruction is a powerful reminder about the soothing benefits of maintaining positive rituals and traditions. Rather than letting disaster diminish her holiday spirits, Rachael fully embraced all the comfort, magic, and childlike wonder that Christmas brings. In that moment of bright celebration, she allowed viewers to witness how unconquerable her hopefulness remained even after Mother Nature had coldly taken away so many of her earthly possessions and sense of domestic bliss. The gleam in Rachael's eyes said it all. No hurricane can ever take away the enduring inner light that burns strong within her. While her chipper TV persona is the first thing most think of, Rachael's biggest inspiration may actually lie in the profound resilience she models in her most broken personal moments. When every outside force says feel shattered, Rachael instead flexes her powerful spirit and carries onward with brightness and joy still leading the way. Thanks for watching. Check out another interesting video by clicking on the link appearing on your screen right now.